Well, hello my baby gorillas and welcome back to the Guerilla TV channel. And I'm just having a wee chat. How much fun is this in politics these days? Oh my goodness, ha 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 ha. Right, so what have we got to chat about? The only way that Theresa May is going to be able to resolve her problems, her current problems, is by whipping the Tory MPs through the lobby and actually making them have a no-deal Brexit. That's the only way that Theresa May is going to resolve her fundamental problems in the Conservative Party, which is absolutely massive, and I'm going to go into that in a second. So, unless Theresa May whips her MPs, gets some of the Labour MPs and the DUP who all want a no-deal Brexit, only if she is able to whip her MPs through on a no-deal Brexit will she save the Conservative Party. That's how serious this is. I don't believe you, Dave. I think you're talking absolute nonsense. Well, here you go. Here's some facts. 40% of Conservative councillors are now going to vote either UKIP or for the Brexit Party. That's what's going to happen. So 40% now, I understand that I go out to an international audience and I'm a bit sort of windswept and interesting, but 40% of Conservative councillor. Now, what is a councillor for those obviously who are out with the UK? A councillor is like a local politician, and they sit in an area, a geographical area, on a council with various political parties to resolve local issues, whether it be bin collection or schools or policing, local policing. There's a number of issues that the local council actually supervise. So throughout the UK there's thousands of councillors. 40% of Conservative councillors, in fact that's a mistake. It's 52% of Conservative councillors say they're going to vote Conservative. So they only fit half of the people who are councillors within the Conservative Party are going to vote for the Conservative Party. 48% are going to vote for other parties, whether it be the Brexit Party or UKIP. They are going to vote for other parties. So the whole thing is absolutely collapsed. These people are not prepared to back the Conservative Party, and it's even more massive in the grassroots of the Conservative Party. The whole thing is going to fall like a pyramid. So what's happening is we're seeing the polarisation between this cuck party, the cuckolds, with the Christian Democrats moving out that way, and the Conservatives and those who are Brexiteers moving either to UKIP or Nigel Farage's new party. Nigel Farage is taking in something like £200 a minute. 60,000 people in the last week have joined the Brexit Party. UKIP's put on about 11,000 people. We've got some very interesting new YouTubers like Count Dankula and Carol Benjamin, great young guys who are now actually involved in going out campaigning. Count Dankula is standing for UKIP in Scotland, and Carol Benjamin, Sargon of Akkad, is standing for UKIP. He's second the list down in the southwest of England. Anne Whitcomb, an absolute stalwart of the Conservative Party, a Conservative MP for 23 years, is now considering joining the Brexit Party, Nigel Farage's Brexit Party, which would be an absolute massive blow. But what's going to be an even bigger blow, the Derbyshire Council has now said, the people in their area have now said that they're not even prepared to campaign for the Conservative Party because they're so furious at Theresa May's inability to actually get through a Brexit plan and keeping us 3 years later having European elections, which the Conservative Party are going to be decimated. They're sitting as low as 16%, where the other ones are just growing exponentially. Both UKIP and also the Brexit Party are growing exponentially. And by tomorrow I'm going to come back to you and find out if this is a single transferable vote, so that you actually are able to place whether it be first, second, third and fourth. I'll find out tomorrow from the Electoral Commission for you to find out how this is actually going to work. Because, for example, if we're in Scotland and there is multiple Brexit parties, whether it be the Conservative Party, sorry, not the Conservative Party, scrap that, whether it be For Britain, UKIP, the Scottish Libertarian Party, I don't know if they're holding MEP candidates as well. Scottish Libertarian Party are a Brexit party, and obviously UKIP, whether you can actually have single transferable votes so that you can actually put these in Brexit or Brexiteer parties for the election. I'll find out by tomorrow what the situation is and how the election is going to be actually managed, and I'll tell you what's actually going to happen. So, there you go. Old Anne Whitcomb is now potentially going to be, she's travelling just now, and she's going to be revealed potentially by Nigel Farage as joining the Brexit Party. This is absolutely massive. So, now the 1922 committee, which sets the rules for the Conservative Party, are now wanting to change the rules because Theresa May cannot be forced to resign. The man himself, great to see you. Good to see you too, Patrick. So the 1922 committee within the Conservative Party are now saying for the rules to be changed. So because Theresa May cannot be replaced until December of this year, or another election can't be done, but they want her out sooner because of her absolute disaster of her handling over the last 3 years. She's done very well if she's a Remainer and she wanted to screw up Brexit. She's done a great job, but for the 17.4 million people who voted for Brexit, then she is the worst. Anne Whitcomb said she was the worst Prime Minister since Anthony Eden, who had the disaster with the Suez Canal problem in Egypt. Oh, and Corbyn is the worst Prime Minister ever for Labour, which I totally agree with. He is a complete disaster, and I mean, why the Labour Party are going to have to answer why they've got a statue to the Labour Party in Manchester. I've got a statue to Frederick Engels, who advocated genocide against the Scots. I don't think that's going to play well amongst the Scottish voters up here, and which they would have to win for the general election, which I'll come back to in a minute. So it's absolutely massive what's actually happening. And I'll read you out. This is the article for the Daily Mail. I'm starting to get all professional with the laptops and everything now. So the laptop. So it says here. The Conservative Party has become a joke on the doorstep, because obviously I will be resigning from the party and joining the Cuck Party, who put the country ahead of party politics. So basically what they're saying is the people, I think they formed a One Nation, which I've been telling you about. There's this One Nation Christian Democratic Bilderberg, that Rory Stewart was, I think, part of that as well. And they formed an actual One Nation party within the party, who are basically the Cuck Party, the Cucks within the Conservative Party, which is the largest group. The ERG and the Brexiteers within the Conservative Party are not the largest group. So this Cuck Party, this One Nation, which is called the One Nation group within the Conservative Party, are actually still the largest group. So we've now got the Conservative Party's membership either going to the Cuckold Party, or the Brexiteers either going to UKIP or the Brexit Party. And once the Conservative councillors start to switch, whether it be to Brexit or to the Brexit Party or UKIP, then we're going to see the complete collapse of the Conservative Party. As I said, the Derbyshire councillors have refused to actually even campaign for the Conservative Party. Oh my goodness, so they've just said, right, we're not bothering, you've completely gone against what we've actually stood for, what our constituents have stood for. You've not even stood on the manifesto and got through Brexit, and we're still in the European Union, and we're going to have to get councillors, get MEPs. Oh, it's going to be a complete disaster. Once that starts to reverberate through, so once the actual rank and file start to leave, that's the people that will go out and actually campaign for you, then the councillors start to jump ship to the Brexit Party, and they want to retain themselves in power and also feel a greater kinship to the Brexit Party and UKIP than they do potentially now within a Cuck-based Conservative Party or Cuck-dominated political party. So the authoritarian Liberals will go through onto the Cuck side as well. And also the Cucks and the Greens, although the Greens are basically a bunch of loonies there, we've seen them down in London talking about climate change, not one of them's gone out and planted a tree, and actually thereby reducing or increasing the carbon dioxide that actually takes the tree to grow, and the tree produces oxygen. If it's only CO2 that's increasing the actual climate change, then just plant more trees. But they're out protesting in the middle of London, and that's a Green Party for you, and just upsetting everybody else that's basically out there. They're basically just communists kidding on their environmentalists. So the Green Party and the Cucks have said they're not going to actually cooperate. The Liberal Democrats and the Cucks are not going to cooperate. So you've got basically three Remainer parties. Now this is where, if it's a transferable vote, these parties will actually start to clock up MEPs, because if it's transferable and you're a Remainer, then you're going to actually vote for one of these three parties. So, I mean, and then you can put 1, 2, 3 depending on what your personal preference is. But the rank and file of the Conservative Party are now more kindred spirits to the Brexit Party or UKIP than they are within the Conservative Party. And this is why we're going to see the end of the Conservative Party. So as I predicted, May is going to potentially resign or be forced out, or they're going to try and bring in new legislation in the 1922 committee to get another vote on her, which I don't think she's going to win this time. Even if she loses, and if they do bring it through, and if she's not until December, and she won't be able to get through any other deal through the Parliament, the Remainer Parliament will block anything to keep us in the EU. And I'll come back to the general election, why it's so important for the general election. They will keep us in the EU, so she will not be able to get anything passed. She's been a complete useless Prime Minister, and we've actually had a disaster for the last number of years. Oh, you couldn't actually write it, honestly. It's unbelievable, unbelievable. So, she's not going to be able to do anything. She's up basically a cul-de-sac and no ability to reverse. She's goosed. She's completely goosed by bringing back this really badly made deal, and we're still in the EU, and the democratic will of the British people has not been implemented. Oof. So, because she will not force through a no deal, which that's the only way of her keeping the Conservative Party as a political entity. She will not whip the MPs and get the DUP and some of the other Brexit Party members to actually put through a no-deal Brexit. The Conservative Party is going to just split. It's going to split. It's not going to work. But the Labour Party aren't any better. the London Labour loonies like Paul Lamy calling everybody Nazis. Oh, everybody who doesn't agree with me is a Nazi. They should maybe class that as hate speech. They should maybe class hate speech as well as people getting called Nazis or not Nazis. That's pretty hateful, isn't it? People who are called misogynist when they're not misogynist, and racist when they're not racist. Maybe we should classify that as all as hate speech and put people in jail for that. A few people in jail, and then they'll stop doing that, and then we can get to actually debate proper political issues. So, fantastic, great stuff. Everything is going absolutely tickety-boo. So back to Labour. So Labour, the Labour Party in the north of England, is in the Brexiteers in the north who are still, I don't know, I think they must be in a cult of Labour. It must be a Labour cult. Because if what the London Labour Party is saying, screw you guys in the north and the Midlands of England, I know you voted Brexiteers, but we're going to parish you in Remainer MPs, and they're just going to vote against your interest. I mean, somebody said that they are representatives, so they're not delegates, so you're not a delegate, so you don't have to implement what the people in your constituency want. So basically you can get parachuted in and manipulated by the central offices of both the Conservative Party and the Labour Party, and they get to decide what they want, even if it's against the people in the constituency's political aspirations. So you can just do what you want once you become an MP. You don't have to go back to the people who voted you in and say, right, okay, I'm just not going to do the reverse of what you wanted, but because I'm a representative and not a delegate. But what they do at central office stage is that they actually make sure that the Remainers are in dominance to continue the globalist agenda. Mass immigration, one world government, and as we can see what's happened to the poor people in Sri Lanka, the Christians in Sri Lanka, from the ideology that says to murder and rape you. So, and which is also theocratically fascist. So, I mean, it's just unbelievable. It's just absolutely unbelievable. So it's whether or not the people in who are Brexiteers in the north and the Midlands who voted Labour are going to continue to vote Labour. I mean, I don't know if they're going to get a coffee break and either vote for UKIP, which UKIP, Jerry Baton's making UKIP more like a working class Brexit party, and Nigel Farage is making it more like a middle class Brexit party. So you've got these two sort of different types of Brexit parties as well, which is also quite interesting. I like Nigel, and I think Nigel and Jerry Baton are much more competent than May and also Corbyn. Corbyn's just a joke. I mean, Corbyn, as Anne Whitcomb rightly put, is the worst PM, or the worst potential PM ever, and the Labour Party as a whole is just a joke as well. So it's absolutely massive. So are we going to see the rupture? So once it gets to the Parliamentary Party, now there's less ERG within the Conservative Party, but they're much more natural bedfellows with the Brexit Party or even UKIP than they are with the actual Christian Democrats and the authoritarian Liberals within the One Nation Tories. So that is once it starts to filter up from the grassroots, once the grassroots starts to move over to the Brexit Party, the councillors will start to move to the Brexit Party or UKIP. Then we're going to see the MPs say, oh, wait a minute, I'm losing my guys, I'm losing my councillors who are supporting me to get me into the MP. I'm better, and I'm a Brexit seat, I'm in a Brexiteer myself, I'll be better in UKIP or the Brexit Party. That's when we'll start to see the disintegration of the Conservative Party. Now, even if the Brexit Party does well, or UKIP does well, or the combination of UKIP and the Brexit Party does well, you're not going to see, if they got many MEPs, because of the lack of power from your elected representative in the European Parliament, Nigel's done very well at making the speeches to actually highlight what a complete sham of democracy that the European Union is, the actual Parliament, where you've got the unelected commissioners dictating the legislation, and they're not even elected by the people, so they're not accountable, they can't be sacked, and it's a complete sham of democracy. So it's not going to really matter. What is actually going to matter is the fact that when we actually go for the general election, it's the general election that's going to make all the difference. So that's also a massive change. In the general election, I think the Brexit Party sitting about 16% and UKIP's maybe sitting about 9%. Or I think it was up as high as 11, the UKIP, and it's potentially as high as 15, 16. But the combination of the Brexit Party and UKIP for the general election would mean that they would get something like 27%. And with the new Cook Party and the Green Party and the SNP and the Labour Party and the Liberals and all other sellout Remainers, this would actually mean that a combined Brexit Party and UKIP could actually, at that point, if they combine for the general election, which is much more important, they combine for the general election, then they could actually win the general election, because you would have a reduction in all other Remainer parties, and because it's first past the post. But then I think Jerry would do it, but I don't know if Nigel would swallow his pride a wee bit and combine them so that we have a Brexit Parliament, a purple or a whatever blue colour, purple and blue colour Parliament, because at that time the ERG and the Conservatives within the Conservative Party would actually have to then decide, am I best served in this new Parliament, in this new parliamentary group or parliamentary party, or whether it would be better staying with the Conservatives? And the answer would be they would be better in that. So that would they would more jump ship into this new party. We're going to see the collapse of the Conservative Party. We're also going to see a major dent in the Labour Party. Although the Labour Party seems to be holding up slightly better. I don't understand why people in the north and the Midlands of England are wanting to be governed by the London loonies that's in the Labour Party, the Remoaners, the ultimate Remoaners. They're now talking about voiding the referendum or getting you to vote again because they didn't like the first vote. We never voted to be part of the European Union in the first place. We voted to be part of an economic community. So the fact that we're actually in the European Union is, we've never voted to be part of it. We should have voted to vote. We should have had the vote to actually join the EU. We never had the vote, and now we're going to have to vote again because the Remoaners didn't like our vote. Oh my goodness, it's absolutely fascinating. So if before the general election UKIP and Nigel Farage's party join together, we have now got an opportunity for a Brexit party that could beat the Conservatives and the Labour Party if they swallow their pride and bang it together. I think Jerry would do it. I'm not sure if Nigel would do it, but by the combination of the two amounts of people in there, the combined party could beat Labour and the Conservative Party at a general election. And obviously some Remainers are Democrats as well and might even change as well. And what we might see is the fracturing off of the ERG into this new super party. And that would then burst British politics, and it'd be fascinating to see the interesting characters who would be coming up, the new characters in British politics that would be coming up. What we're also seeing is potentially the SNP. Now, the Scottish National, Scotland's the north of Britain, basically, effectively. But what we might see, and what's been muted again, is that Scotland might run, the SNP might run candidates in the north of England, which there seems to be a wee bit of a support for as well. The SNP are loony Remainers. They want independence in Europe, which is basically a political oxymoron. So they might actually start to run, SNP might start to run candidates in the north of England, northeast and northwest of England. And they might get support down in England as well. It's absolutely crazy. And also there's moves. Berwick upon Tweed has always been a Scottish town. The population were slaughtered by the English years ago, and they were actually there was genocide committed on them. But I think the large proportion of the people in Berwick and upon Tweed, they play in the Scottish League. they're only an English town in name. I want to actually return to being part of Scotland, and I think that's something that we have to discuss further down the line, whether getting a vote for Berwick to be allowed to come back into Scotland. Because it's not fair to be an occupied town, in a Scottish town occupied in Scotland. So that's certainly something that would be very interesting for the people of Berwick upon Tweed if they were going to vote for the SNP. They wanted to come back into Scotland, which they've always been really a part of Scotland until they were invaded. So, absolutely fascinating stuff. Fascinating. It's going to be great stuff. Labour Party could collapse in the North and Midlands and only become really a London, maybe Birmingham, but just a couple of places in the UK that are voting Labour now, because obviously that could collapse as well. Why would you vote Brexit and then vote for a Remainer MP? So it's the general election that's going to be the absolute ultimate in what actually happens in the future. Are the Brexiteers going to come together under one party, bring in the ARG Tories, bring in even left-wing like George Galloway's doing some great stuff about freedom of speech, and he's doing some great stuff. Bring in the left of the Conservative Party. 5 million Labour voters voted for Brexit. So it's absolutely huge. So if they all switch teams and it's Brexit versus Remain at the election, then this is going to be absolutely massive. It's going to be a massive situation, and it could be a complete change in British politics. We could get proportional representation. We could get an elected second chamber if the Brexiteers get in power as well, and get rid of all this gerrymandering that happens just now. Oh! Hope you enjoyed that, my baby gorillas. Absolutely fascinating stuff. Can't wait to tell more about this. This is going to run and run just now, but we are going to start seeing councillors. Now, I tell you things before they happen. We're going to see Tory councillors going to UKIP and the Brexit Party. They're going to start funneling off and actually jumping ship because the Conservative Party is sinking. Now, even if Boris Johnson, who's a Brexiteer, became in charge, he would not be able to do very much different than May, because there's two ideologies going in totally different directions within the Conservative Party, and the largest proportion are the cucks, the one world conservatives, the Christian Democrats, the corporatist globalists, who think money is more important than other aspects of society. So they are moving in separate directions, and the Conservative Party has tried to actually patch this up for years and years, decades, and it's going in different directions. What's better happening is it's splitting, and then it's a Brexit party and a cuckold party, and that's what's going to happen. And what Boris and Rees-Mogg and all those guys, they'd be better in with Farage, because they're going to, once they're in, there's Rees-Mogg's sister with a very unusual name in with Farage now. So they're all going, it's all splitting off now. It's so interesting. It's a major schism, which I've already told you guys. I told you May was resigning. I told you I am preempting the news. I'm not reporting on the news. I'm prophesying like a messiah what is going to happen after the events actually happen, or before the events actually happen. I'm prophesying what's going to happen, and it's already echoing within what actually happens. Oh, so there's going to be the Brexit parties are going to storm the actual European elections. Storm them. There are about 60,000 people have joined the Brexit Party, 11,000 have joined UKIP. It's going exponentially. Carol Benjamin is doing some great stuff against this feminazi sort of wing of communist, feminist Nazis, who believe in equality but believe in their own privilege. So I can say something sexist or derogatory and I don't get held by any standard, but I believe in equality. What? So well done to Carol Benjamin for actually sticking up for the guys. Jess Phillips, I've lost friends through suicide. Absolutely disgusted. What an absolute giant bitch she is. Actually laughing and not giving men's health a proper say. I mean, absolutely disgusting. My friends are dead through male suicide, and she's sitting there laughing in the Parliament. Oh, fuck Labour, that's what I say. Anyway, guys, I will catch you later on. Share the Guerilla TV. If you want to contribute, I'll put up the descriptions, guys. I'm on other channels as well. Don't forget the Facebook. All the people in Silicon Valley are now banning people they don't agree with politically. So they're all banning these people. Oh, and there's the guy who's the Jewish Russian oligarch who's now telling us we should ban the Brexit Party or deplatform the Brexit Party and UKIP. Maybe that's what they do in Russia, pal, but they don't do that here. But Facebook's now banned Tommy Robinson. They've banned a whole series of individuals who they just don't agree with. And they're only doing that through our political class. So this is coming from it's partly coming through the Labour Party, but it's been allowed to happen by the cucks, by the One Nation Conservatives in the Conservative Party. They're working with the Labour Party, Hope Not Hate, who are destroying people's lives through the Labour Party. They're coming to the Labour Party. Stand up to racism. You can't be racist to white people. That's what they said when I was at one of their meetings. Absolutely disgusting. Absolutely. We believe in equality, but it's one vote for one and one for another. Honestly, the quicker Labour Party goes, the better. That's another busted flush as well. Guys, I love you guys. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you found it interesting. And I'm one step ahead of what's happening. You're not even getting news, you're getting predictions of what's actually happening within the world of British politics. And I'm getting it right every time. May's going to go. They're going to try in the 1922 committee, and we're going to see an actual split in the Conservative Party where the cucks go one way, the cuckolds, and we've got the Brexiteers, the sexy cavaliers, going another way for UKIP and for the Brexit Party. That has to combine for the general election, and then the ERG will probably siphon off, and we'll have a proper Brexit Party combined to actually win the general election. That's what the objective is. Can't wait. Guys, love you guys. My baby gorillas. Mwah!